Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I want to confess to you and to confess to the whole world that me and my wife, we buried our child here in South Africa. We buried our child. It was only me and my wife, and we did not tell any of our relatives that are back home that this is what we did, because this was part of the rituals that I was doing. Even my wife does not even know that I also used her in that ritual. Please post my story as hidden identity. I have come here with my own confession, and I want you to post this story. I am a man who is aged 64 years old. I am staying here in South Africa. Let me say that I am staying in Hazyview in Mpumalanga province. That is where I have been working. So me and my wife, we stay close to this other farm that is owned by this other white man, and I am a foreman at that farm. So in order for me to become a foreman, there are a couple of things that happened, because back in those days before I had became a foreman, I used to experience a lot of problems. I went to Mbombela here in South Africa, here in Mpumalanga province, where I met this other traditional healer. This traditional healer, he is from Mozambique. When I went there, it was because I had stayed here in South Africa for the longest time, and I did not have any money to return back home. So whenever I would go to the white garment prophet churches, they would always tell me that my relatives were the ones that were bewitching me. They did not want to see me succeeding in life. So when the prophets were telling me that I was being bewitched by my relatives, I then said, it is far much better for me to become a ritualist. So I kept on doing this, working in the farms, until 10 years had gone by, and I did not have anything at all. When I would look at my life, I would see that there was no improvement whatsoever. I went to each and every prophet that can be found here in Mpumalanga. I was given a lot of prayers that I would use on a regular basis, but no matter how hard I would try, I was not making as much money as I wanted. I wanted to be promoted so that I can become a foreman at the farm where I was working, but unfortunately the boss would not even check me at all. That was when I said, to hell with these prayers, let me just go straight to a traditional healer. I started looking for help, specifically on Facebook. So, on Facebook, there are those traditional healers that will tell you that they can help you to become rich. I started going on Facebook looking for those type of traditional healers, and when I went to visit this traditional healer from Mozambique that I met in Bombela, as for my wife, I did not tell her the truth as to where I was going. And I was scared that my wife, women, what they are like. If you go and if you become a ritualist and she knows that you are a ritualist, when you start to fight with your wife, she will tell everyone that you are a ritualist. She will expose you to the whole world. So I then said, let me go alone, and I do not want my wife to know. I then lied to my wife that there were these other prophets that had came from Zim. So they were calling all the men that wanted to receive some prophecies as well as some prophetic powers. They should come, and we were going to have a night prayer. I then went there, and when I arrived there, I had been given the directions on the phone, and indeed I saw that the traditional healer, he was there, he was waiting for me. When I arrived there, I saw that this traditional healer from Mozambique, he was just a youngster, and he was working with two other women that were also from Mozambique. I then got into the shrine. As for the shrine, it is something that is so scary, but I saw that there were other men that were there that had beautiful cars that had also came to thank this traditional healer. So this traditional healer, he was kneeling down in front of us, just like the Muslims, what they do when they are praying. That is how we were kneeling also in front of him. And as for this traditional healer, he had a snake that was coiled around his neck. He then said that in order for me to make as much money as I wanted, he was going to make some markings on my back using a razor blade. And after that, you showed me this other mirror, and he said that the mirror that I am showing to you, it is a mirror that is going to reveal to you the one that you are supposed to sacrifice. I then selected one amongst my children who was going to die, and my child was fed to the snakes. I then returned back to where I was staying with my wife, and I went to this other prophet that is also from Zim. I knew that he was a fake prophet, and my wife believed well in him. I then gave him money, and I told him the whole story, that I had gone to Mbombela and I was now a ritualist, and there was a sacrifice that was going to happen, and I would bring my wife to him soon after my child would have passed away. So I was paying him because I wanted him to give my wife a fake prophecy. This prophecy was like the people back home were the ones that had bewitched us, and they had killed our child, and this is what he did. When I arrived back home, there were some charms that I rubbed on my son's leg, and he started to have a swollen leg. Later on, we then took him to the hospital and he passed away. We then returned back to that same traditional healer, and the traditional healer gave my wife a scary prophecy that if we were going to return back home with the deceased body of our son, then things that were so bad were going to happen to us. Therefore, we were supposed to bury our son, and no one was supposed to know about it. So me and my wife, we then took the deceased body of our son, and then we went with it to this other farm. So close to that farm, there was this other river. That is where we buried our son. We did this in the middle of the night, and no one even knows that this is what we did. So soon after that, me and my wife, we started making a lot of money, and my wife does not even know that the money that we have, it is the blood money, because we sacrificed our own son. So fast forward to today, my other kids, they are always seeing the spirit of their dead sibling. They always say that they sometimes see him watching TV, he plays with them. And when I heard that this was what was happening, because this happened like 6 years ago, and they were still very young, they should not remember these things that happened, that their sibling passed away. They are not supposed to see him. I then returned back to Mbombela. When I returned there to Mbombela, he then told me, the traditional healer, that I now have a tokoloshi, and if I do not want a tokoloshi, I am supposed to sacrifice my daughter, in which I am not willing to sacrifice another child, because I know that if I do that, my wife will never forgive me. So the traditional healer has given me a 90-day grace period. He has told me that you have to sacrifice your own daughter, and I do not want you to do it now. I want you to think about it. He has said that the only way that he can help me to chase away this tokoloshi is if I sacrifice, if I hand over my daughter to him. I am scared to do such a thing. I have already sacrificed so much. It was not easy to bury my own son in the middle of the night close to the river. It was not easy to lie to my wife that the reason as to why we are doing this, it was because we were trying to protect the body of our son from the witches that wanted to eat our son. This traditional healer has given me a 90-day grace period. He has told me that after 90 days, he won't be able to assist me. I will have to go to another traditional healer. So I've been counting the days, and now 30 days has passed, and I still do not have a solution, and I really do not know what am I supposed to do. I am so scared that if I tell my wife that I am the one who was responsible in the death of our son that died and whom we buried close to the river. I don't think that she will ever forgive me because of the pain that she went through when she thought that our son was bewitched by some of our relatives who does not want to see us progress in life. So this is where I am right now. Before I had started making all of this money through the rituals, I used to enjoy my life. I was someone that was poor, but I was able to sleep peacefully at night, not thinking about anything. But so many times I wake up in the middle of the night and I find myself talking to myself, even during the day. When I say I want to relax, all of a sudden, then I start to talk to myself, not even knowing what is it that I am saying. This is the situation that I am facing. This happened 2 months ago when my children started telling me that they see their own sibling, and when they see their sibling, he will be watching TV, wanting to play with them. It's like I am so sick right now. Back in those days, I used to wear size 34. That was my waist size. But right now, the way that I am so thin, I am wearing size 13. And I know that it is being caused by the stress of having to sacrifice my daughter in order to chase away this tokology. Brother Nashin, this is the situation that I am facing, the burden that I am carrying. It is too heavy for me. Sometimes I tell myself that if I kill myself, it will be far much better. But when I think about this tokology that I now have, if I kill myself, it does not mean that the tokology will simply disappear. The tokology will always be there, and it will give spiritual problems to my children. That is why I want to correct the wrongs that I have done, but I really do not know where to start. So this is what I want you to tell everyone that listens to your program. Please never go to a traditional healer to do money-making rituals. Please do not do that, because when you go to a traditional healer the first time around wanting to become a ritualist, it will be like you and him, you are going to be friends. But after you would have given you these demons that you will be using in the money-making rituals, then you will start to act as if he does not even know you. This is my own story. I want help. If there is anyone who can assist me, those that know how to catch tokologies, they can come to me. I am willing to take them to my house so that they can help me. When you post my story, please tell me. I'll be following through in the comment section. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brother right there, who is saying that he stays in Mpumalanga and he's still working on a farm, even though he has so much money, but he's still working on the farm as a foreman. So he sacrificed his own son, buried his son alone at this other farm in the middle of the night. Those were the rituals that he did. Strange things indeed. They do happen in this world. Then there is another short message that I received from one of our dear sisters. The message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nash, how are you? I want to confess to you that in order for me to become rich, this is what I had to do. Back in those days, there was this other lady. She was also from Zim. She would come to my salon and I will do her hair. So she had her son, who was about 1 year to 1 year and a half. So I would go around visiting some prophets, and I was being told that I had been bewitched by my relatives. They did not want me to make money in South Africa. It then happened that I visited this other prophet. This prophet then told me that in order for us to chase away the bad luck that I had, we were going to use that woman's son. I did things with him that are not allowed to be said in public. The things that I did, that is how I stole his gift, because he was born, and when he was born, he was given a mission by God that he was supposed to fight against the spirit of poverty, because from his father's side there was this other demonic spirit that was always following his father's bloodline, the spirit of poverty, and he had been given a mission by God to be born to fight against that spirit of poverty. One day, I gave his mother some money and I told her to go and buy us some food as well as some hair extensions, but I was lying to him. I just wanted to be with her son alone in the saloon. When she went to buy the extensions and the food, I then remained behind with her son and I did things to him and I stole his spiritual gift that he was given by God, and I returned back to the prophet and we did some prayers. It took me a very long time for us to be able to capture that gift, and I started making money. Unfortunately, this boy, he passed away. The mother does not even know that the reason as to why his son died so suddenly, it was because I had stolen his spiritual gift, and I have been using that gift to chase away the spirit of poverty in my family. I have changed the fortunes of my entire generation, but sometimes I get so scared whenever I think about it. One day I am going to die and I will have to come face to face with my own creator. It scares me quite a lot to think about what God is going to say, what God is going to do to me, considering the fact that even though he wanted the spirit of poverty to be removed from that boy's family, but I destroyed that mission before it had even started. I don't know if hell or paradise will be waiting for me. Dear listeners, right, there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. Our sister is saying that the gift that she stole, people can just come to her and give her money for no reason at all. That is how she managed to start other hair salons. She was saying that she spoke with this other Indian man who told her that she can be at one of his buildings to start her own hair salon rent-free, and he wanted her to bring other Zimbabwean hairdressers to that building that he owns, and she had that business running rent-free at that Indian man's building in town. That is how she managed to start several hair salons in the CBD, in the province where she is staying as well, in different locations. She has good luck and she is good with people. That was another message that she sent to me. Let us talk about this in the comment section. Let us meet again in the following episode.